Hello and welcome to MRMW in London. I'm delighted to be joined by Ben Leet of USAMP. Ben, thank you very much for joining me. Do you want to give a little bit of a brief introduction to yourself?
Sure, no problem. So I work for USAMP. I run the sales team at USAMP. We're an online panel company, and we're pushing really hard in the mobile space. I did a presentation today at MRMW about our user experience and what we found in the mobile space and what we found that works and doesn't work with users and how to engage them on mobile versus online. So we've got a pretty vested interest in MRMW, and I think it's been a good show so far.
I've really enjoyed it. I'd like to talk a little bit about your presentation because I found it quite fascinating. One thing that really got me was the emerging markets in India and how mobile had just overtaken desktop, which I really wouldn't have imagined. But yeah, if you could kind of tell me a little bit about that, that would be great.
Sure. So that was a year ago. That slide was from a year ago. So I dread to think what it is now. The slide basically portrayed mobile internet versus desktop internet. So the concept of people going onto the internet via their mobile phone might seem scary in India, but then you weigh that back against people having desktop internet in India, and it starts to make sense. So the question for me is, how can we be as representative as we can be in places like India and the emerging markets? We think that it will skip a methodology. We think it could almost go from face-to-face straight to mobile. And by the way, we're an online company, so we're almost forecasting our own demise in a way in those markets. But that's where consumers are going, and what we as an industry need to do is follow the consumer, and we need to be where they are. And we think in emerging markets that's firmly on mobile.
Yeah, that really did fascinate me as well, like skipping the trend, and that was something that USAMP was gonna look into as well. And so, is there any other presentations while you've been here that have kind of caught your interest, or anything like that?
There's a couple of things that pleased me. Kantar pleased me. Kantar Health in particular. So the healthcare market historically has always been almost behind the curve of research, which has sometimes been behind the curve of the general consumer trend. So to hear Kantar Health talking about using mobile technology to engage better with physicians, that really pleased me. It's great to hear somebody like Kantar promoting that. And then there was another good presentation from TNS about the 120-second rule and how much information you can get from 120 seconds. That sounds scary, but it's true. And if you relate that back to my presentation about engaging with people and how much time people spend on their various devices, you know what, if as researchers we can get from 30-minute surveys to 120-second surveys, I think we'll get much more accurate data as a result of that. So it's good to hear companies like Kantar and TNS embracing mobile and embracing where consumers are going, because that's fundamental for us.
Ben, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference. And
Likewise.
yeah,
My pleasure.
thank you.
Thank you.